So last day, as we have started with the discussion, like on the very first day, we have discussed about working with permissions, where we have seen that how we have a concept of the permission, the label types of permissions which is available. So we have only two types of permissions which we are gonna work it, like normal and dangerous. Rest are the permission for the certificate based. If the permission which is declared as a dangerous type, then you have to define as a runtime permission after the Android 6.0. As well as if it is a normal or it's a default one, you don't have to write it explicitly permission for the runtime. So that is on a very first day, as well as we have seen example of reading SMS. So that was the example of the content provider. So in system, we do have already content providers related to your messages, related to your contacts. So we have content providers which are available that you can read using content resolver class, and accordingly you can write operations and perform on that one. Second day, we have discussed about the Android manifest attributes. In the manifest attributes, we have seen that we have very limited attributes are written when we create the default applications. But there are also some other properties which you can explore, and through that you can make your application more featureable. So you can add on more features if you go with some more properties over there. Example is that we have seen an example of shared Linux ID, shared user ID, where that we can run our application within the same user ID. The benefit of that thing is that you can access the resource, you can share the resources, and you can perform operation on that. Then we have last day, means before the weekend, we have discussed about working with that content provider. So in that one, we have discussed that how we can overcome, how we can design a content provider, because on a very first day which we have seen, in that day we have seen that how to read the content provider, the content provider which is already made out for you. But if you have to create your own, like I am having my database, and on that database we wish to perform the operations, so how we can do that one thing. So that thing we have seen on a very last day, where we have created a database, and using the content provider class we have performed the operations. While dealing with that, we have seen that there are some class, there is a class which is known as a content provider class, and in that class which provides you implemented method, there are variety of methods that is required to work it over there. So as for an example, on create, as for example is on insert, cursor, and so on. So we have seen that how we can do this operation by using cursor, by using insertions, and it was working very fine for us. Based on that, I have also given you one exercise that you can try this one thing on creating some other application, and that application you try to use the content provider, and hopefully it is gonna work for you. So I hope you have done this one thing. We will see that one thing later, but now today we are going to start the today's session. Today's session is also small, but we are going to talk it about the different types of storage options which we do have. We have already discussed this one thing in the time of when we are working with the Android storage part. We have discussed about shared preferences. We have discussed about I'm sorry. We have discussed about a database part. So these two things we have already seen. So regarding that, again, we do have a discussion today. So okay, before going further, let's have a quick round over that. Any questions from your side, or the guys who has done the exercise, they can display the exercise. So up over to you guys if you wish to display. If you have anyone has done that content provider job, I think one or two exercise I have given it. I'm not remember exactly, but based on that it was there. So anyone has done, they can share, and if anyone could have any questions related to that, they can ask me. Yes, Ambrose.
Yeah, I wanted to. Hello, Emmanuel. Emmanuel,
Yes, sir.
uh, sure you can share your assignment now.
Um, no, I haven't done it.
Nana?
Hello, Bruce. I haven't done this one.
You didn't do any of the two. There are two assignments. You didn't do any of them.
No, sir. I didn't do anything.
Bolaji?
Yeah, good morning. I'm Bruce. I did this, but it doesn't work.
Even if it's not complete, show us what you've done.
I'm not saying it's not okay. I said it's not. It wasn't working.
And that's why we're here. Show us. Let's see where you have a gap. And Prince.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen.
All right. Prince. Prince. Prince, you share after him, or just prepare your mind. I know you are there.
Hello, can anybody see my screen?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, so I just used the. I tried to continue from where when we did the save and view data. So I created a new project, like you said. So I called it content provider delete app. I just because you said we should do delete and update. So
Which app you have deleted?
huh?
Which app you have deleted?
No, you said we should implement for content provider. You said we should implement the delete and update.
Yes. There were two things. One was to create one new application and try to use content provider, and second one is to delete an update method. So that was it.
Yeah, so I created the new application content provider. So I was trying to implement the delete method. So I created a button. So I created my DB helper and data provider class. The same we did in class, and I tried to put this in my manifest. So this is my delete method. So I was trying to use two different methods. I was trying because for delete method, I found out that we have the one that use URI and bundle, and the other one that use the content provider answer this ID and the selection argument. So I created from what I got. I instantiated this class. Then but when I run it, I'm sure I didn't do something right. When I run it, it doesn't work. The app crashes and trying
What's saying that in a parent, okay, just a second, in a parent, scroll it down.
From what I found out, the argument for the delete method will be there are two different approach, URI and bundle. that I use that. And the other one that uses a string like where condition that you put ID if you want to delete a particular row. But from my implementation here, I was trying to do it. So it was not because of my argument here.
Content resolver values is equals to get content resolver. Okay. Get content resolver dot delete content. URI name student ID. Which
When I
ID you are
changed it,
passing? Which ID you are passing here?
the thing is that I have not been able to save enough data inside it so that I can generate I can get ID for the one that I want to delete. That's why I say that. Because my save button too is like having issues.
Okay.
That's why I've
And
not
can you
passed.
show me? Can you show me your data provider .java delete part? Delete part. So you have not implemented the delete part. How it is gonna work? So we have to attach no delete method. So we cannot directly delete it. We have to give the procedures for that one. Based on that, you can go for that particular stuff. Here you have to write the procedures that what you are doing, what the arguments you are passing. So all the things you have to pass it. So you have to actually write the delete method. That is missing. So whatever you will pass from the main activity, when it will try to communicate with that, the delete procedure will not get called. So it will not work for you. So you have to write it delete and update, then you can interact with main activity. It means that's okay. It's not going to work it because we have implemented for insertion and fetching. So that was working. But you can see the line number 123, which I can say means I mean to say delete and update is not added. So that's why it's not working. Okay, no problem. If you have not implemented the things, we'll see about that one thing that how we can implement it. So otherwise your main activity will not talk it that what you're trying to say. We have to get the arguments. Based on that, we will have to write the queries and accordingly we will be performing the operation. So those all the lines we have to pass it. Not an issue. Okay, we'll check about that one thing later. Anyone else who wish to share the screen regarding that deletion part which we have told, or did you try with that? Balaji, you have tried with another application where you have tried to retrieve the information. Any other application? Second exercise, second assignment, Balaji?
No, no.
No problem. Okay. Anyone else who wish to share?
Prince. All right. So anyone else, Peter and Co. Anyone else can share?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Sure.
So let me just run the project and then show us. So what I did was that can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
So let me just show you what I did. So I started with this DB helper. So I changed it to employee. So I changed instead of students that we had. So I just changed it after creating a new project. I changed it to employee. So thereafter, I come to this my data provider. So where I specify all the queries. So this is for what's it called? This is the inserts that we have already. Then this is the view. Then this is for delete. This is the deletion part, and this is the update part. Can you see?
Yeah.
So then thereafter, for my main activity, I just write two methods. I made it Boolean. One is for delete employee, where I just pass the employee name. The other one is update employee. I also pass the employee name for that one. So then I call different what's it called? I called get content resolver dot delete, passing the parameter where name equals to the name that is being passed to this method. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So then for the updates, so I did the same thing. So but what will happen here is that it's going to take what the parameter, then it's going to update it based on the input field. So normally I was supposed to put everything in what's it called, the update and the delete. I was supposed to put it in um a recycler view or a list view, but I didn't do that. But I was able to make the two of them work. So let me just show us how this whole thing is from the application itself. So this is save data, view data. Now I will just, this is, let me just try to save Prashant.
Yep.
Prashant. So this work, I have that Prashant. Let me try to copy. Okay, Prashant. So if I do view data is inside the log, but let me just show us. Can you see my log?
Yep. That's fine.
So if I do view data, I have two, I have hello world new, and then I have Prashant. Can you see?
Yeah.
Hello world new and Prashant. So now if I want to delete, what I have to do is that normally I didn't do it, like I didn't put it inside the recycler view because I just wanted to understand how it works, so I can always do that one. So what I will just do is that I will just copy this Prashant that is here if I want to delete it. So I'll just come into my delete, what's it called, my delete method. So this delete employee that is expecting what's it called, to be passed, is expecting the employee name to be passed. I'll just put it here. I'll just put Prashant here and it will work once I click on that button, because this guy is linked to that delete button. So let me show you, let me run it again. So and you see that Prashant will leave the queue. I was supposed to put it in a recycler view. Apologies for that.
No problem.
So if I do delete now, successful deletion. So if I click view data, hello world new, only hello world new is there.
Okay. Good.
Right?
So yeah, nice implementation, Peter. Only one thing is missing over here to just finishing your app, like furnishing your app. Things are final.
Yeah,
Things
yeah,
what
I
we have
know. I
functionality.
just I guess. Don't mind
Yeah.
me. So
No
like I
problem.
didn't do the design and anything. So I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
So
So that's
then
good.
for the what's the functionality? Then for the update too, the same thing happen. So let me just show you. So if I want to change this guy, all I have to do is to copy here and then come here. Where is it? Where is updates? Okay, let me just do update. I'm coming. Update is already expecting. Let me see what is happening. Okay, it's expecting me to update. This is what I want to update.
Hello.
I want to update hello world new,
Mm.
right? Now, this is what will happen. I'm so sorry that I didn't. So now, if I want to change, this update button is expecting me to pass. He already knows that, okay, fine, it's hello world new. So what do I want to change it to? Let me change it to Prashant now.
Mm.
Prashant. If I click update, successful updated. So if I do view data, you not see hello world new again. It will now be Prashant. Can you see Prashant?
Yeah.
So that's what I've done.
Perfect. Nice. You have done the implementation. Good. Good. But just you have to add to do finishing. That's it. But you have seen the functionality that how to implement. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks.
I just did the functionality part.
Yeah. The main thing is the functionality. Designing will take time, definitely. But yes, if you know
Yeah,
the functionality, designing can be done easy.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Anyone
Yeah.
else who wish to share?
Hello, anyone else? Okay. Hello, Prashant.
Yeah.
All right. So, personally, I like Peter. I worked only on the functionality, not on the
Designing.
design, because I was so busy this weekend. I just worked on the functionality alone, and I wasn't so clear about the update bits. I wasn't so clear about that. But what I worked on was on the delete, and what I did was hold on. So what I did was so I'm just testing it. What I did was to delete where the roll number, whatever roll number I pass in the text.
Okay. Oh, you deleted this way. Okay, fine.
So I no, it was just I couldn't. I when you said delete, I didn't know whether you wanted me to delete whatever entry that goes into the text view, or that's what I wasn't so clear on. So, but what I just did was to just delete whatever row number that is passed in this text, and then just make a toast. Yeah. So yeah. So basically. Yeah, but so Peter, how which approach were you supposed to use? Was it the way Peter did it, or how were we supposed to do it? Hello,
Hello,
Prashant.
Ambrose. Okay.
I was asking what approach were we supposed to use, Prashant, because I don't know if this is was the correct thing to do.
No, actually, we have to get the ID, and based on the ID, we should do the deletion.
Okay,
So
not
row number can be 0, 1, 2, 3. So you might be deleting 0.
yeah,
Next
yeah.
time also again one item will come on the 0. So but the ID will be changed. So we should make the query first of all, fetch all the records. Which is the
Okay.
most fetch all the records from there you will be getting ID also, and whatever the queries you are gonna make it. So to work with this particular delete operation, what we need to do it, we have to actually draw a list view or recycler view, and when you're gonna
Oh,
tap on that one, then you are going to be delete, then it's going to work fine. And
okay.
directly writing the delete will be a little bit confusing for you, like
Yes,
what you are
yes.
deleting.
I agree. I agree.
So before writing the delete, at least we should delete show the data which we are going to delete it, so it will be
Yeah.
more clear to us. So that is
Yes,
one
yes,
thing.
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
So that's cool, guys. You have tried to implement content provider is known as one of the most toughest job in Android. To be very frank, content provider creation. I mean, not just saying that working with a default one. Creation is going to be very complicated. The for operation is going to be very problematic because normally the people don't create the content providers, and if you'll go for Stack Overflow or Google to find out the codes, you will find out very limited codes are related, examples are related to it. So this is same with the content provider, because instead of people are using content provider, they are preferring to use centralized or web services data to share the data. But yes, this is one of the options to share internally data, so we can't ignore it. Moving to the today's session. In the today's session, we will be talking about working with storage. So you already worked with some of the storage, but we will try to do it again, and we'll see what are the rest of the things which we do have. So let's start the today's story. I'm gonna share my screen. So this is the job which we have left it last day. From tomorrow onwards, we will be starting the Kotlin, and I will also show you an example of Kotlin with keeping Android in the picture. Why so? Because there will be benefit that if you are writing the code Kotlin with Android, what is the advantage? What are the things which has been changed? So you can see that today, if anyone has tried or anyone has done this one thing with the Kotlin, and if not, let me tell you the picture. Like right now, the very first step you do the linking of your UI components with your main activity, like using find view by ID method. So this is which we are using in Android 1.1 and up to Android 8.0. Means we are using till today that we have to link. We have to link find view by ID. But with the time, things has been changed, and there are the very small way to work with the find view ID. So earlier, if I do like I need to do the linking like this way. Let me write it here. It's early days. I think today is day 26. Day 26, Android. So in early days, what happened when, if anyone has experience, the very first I can say up to Android 5.0 or 6.0. I'm not sure about the exact version, but it was Android 6.0. How do we the linking of UI components? So linking of UI components, which was like this way. Like if I'm trying to connect my text view, so I need to write it like this text view object TV, which is going to be your text view, whatever the name of the class, find view by ID, and same one is r dot id dot whatever the text view ID was there. So this was the initial days when we were working. We have to do the linking like this way, where you get the link, you connect your view and typecast as a text view. If you don't do the typecasting, it was not gonna work you. With the time, things has been changed, and now we are writing today text view TV, and we are writing directly find view by ID. So the typecasting part is removed. So if you're directly, you are allowed to do the binding. Now when you are going for the Kotlin, in the Kotlin, find view by ID procedure is no more. This procedure is no more. Means if you are working, your UI component is not supposed to link. You can directly access by the name of ID which you have declared. So if my text view is having some ID as a text view, so I can directly access in my program file without linking it. So that is the one feature which has been introduced. So you can see in on create we are doing the linking operation, so that is no more available. You can directly access the particular ID anywhere in your program, and that is you're going to write it. So that is in the Kotlin you will be finding. The methods remain same, but there is a concept of loosely coupled programming language came, or you can say scripting based programming language. Because in Java, we do have a concept of, in Java, we have a concept of primitive data type. Data type. So in that one, we have like concept of string, we have concept of int, float, and so on. So if you are creating any variable, you have to declare your primitive data type. Based on that, you are going to define what is the data type of this type of variable, and accordingly you are gonna work it. But in it's not in only Android. With most of the programming language, these changes has been done. In Kotlin, they have introduced the concept of loosely coupled or a scripting programming language. So it's going to be scripting. So yeah, you guys have also done with Swift. So you will be find out more similarity of Kotlin with Swift programming. So there you will be doing the operations like where message. So where will come over there. Let is not available. Where is only there. So where message. You can define some value. Second one thing you can also write it where message is equals colon string. Regarding this, you are again familiar, and as well as optional variable concept is also available. So I mean to say, whatever you have done with the Swift programming, you will be finding more similarities with the Kotlin. Some small changes you can find it, but most of the things are same. So this is like in the Kotlin. So in Java, which we are using earlier as a primitive data type, that has been changed to the scripting programming language. So these are the changes you will be finding when we are working with the Kotlin. So that is the things which we will see tomorrow. So in that one, you will see, first of all, I'll talk it about the basic of the Kotlin, what is Kotlin, how we can write the classes and writing the functionality in the Kotlin. And then I'll show you some demonstration that how to write Android application development in Kotlin, because that is not the part also, but I'll let you know the picture that how you can do with the Kotlin. And that's it. That is the only part we are going to cover. Even the resource directory has not been changed yet now. So if you create the project, still you will be finding the folder name as a Java. But inside the Java folder, you will be having the folder files by the name of Kotlin extension, that is KT. So with the things will be changed with the time, because it's a new programming language. It will take time to be stable in the market. So things are changing, but yes, this is going to be the future. So these are the discussion we will be doing tomorrow. Today we will be discussing about the Android security part, and we have seen what we are going to see today. So let me open to this part. And this is the official stuff. If anyone wish to give the examination of security, they can go for this examination by AND 802. This is the name of that. But before that, you have to go for 801 also. So you guys are now set for two types of exams. One which you can go for Google Associate Android Development, that is the Google exam. One exam you can go for Android AND 801. You require the information of the Kotlin, but they don't ask the questions based on the programming, but still you can sit the examination because they don't ask the question based on programmings. They base the questions on theory. 801, then you can go for 802 of Android AND Android 802, ATC Android 802, and you have also another course which you can look at, like that is related to monetization. So that is okay, part over there. Today we will be talking about Android security, the last model. There we will be discussing about the data storage decisions, storage mechanism, where we can store the data, and there are some labs related to that one. So in this program, we will be discussing about that while dealing with the data storage, we should take the decisions in terms of privacy, in terms of data storage period. So a lot of data storage prerequisite, or we can say data storage conditions, you can make the right decision that where you should store your data, and what are the mechanisms which is being provided inside your Android to store your data, like in terms of database, SQLite, in terms of cache, in terms of internal storage. One thing which you can remember, or means, what is the exact name? One thing, you just tie in like I don't know, guys are leaving and joining. And because of that, I have to be there. So one thing you have to tie a knot. External storage is never recommended for your securing storage. No one or no device, never it has been talked, not any documentation, it has been mentioned that external storage is safe. So just not your tie, not the tie. You just remember, never ever you are going to install or store the data. Make sure the data should be internal storage. Don't go for the external storage. Reason is that if you are moving to the external storage and if someone has taken that external storage, whatever the queries you are gonna put it, that's all are gonna be failed. The reason is very simple, because external storage might have all the encryptions and decryptions, but if the storage device and storage hardware has been removed, no one can do anything. So that is the data storage decisions. How much private data you do have, and for how much long period you want to retain it. Like retain it, like if I have to store for a long time, I'll be preferring to store the data in to database. If I have to look it for the temporary one, I should prefer to go with data cache. If suppose that if I wish to overwrite every time, so I will be working with the shared preferences. So we have to decide that which type of data we can store anywhere. So let's talk it about the first thing. Different factors affects our decisions on what data to store and how to store it. Our decisions depends upon the level of privacy of the data and the required the period of storage. These are the data security aspects that developers should be aware about during the application lifecycle. So they're very different, a very simple statement they have mentioned in that while dealing with this thing, we should take care that which type of data, how much privacy is going to be maintained, and how long period you are gonna store it. So accordingly, you are going to make the right decision as a developer that which data source data storage element we should use or we should prefer on that place. Privacy. You should be very careful that what type of data your application collects from your end user, whether you need to get the user consent or not. I mean to say, whether you are going to get that data as in terms of runtime permissions or without runtime permissions. But if you are collecting some information from the user, you should be careful. Collecting private information can cause legal and moral issues without user consent. Can be considered as an invasion of privacy. After collecting the data, you should store it securely as well as encrypted. Note that data privacy laws differ from one region to another one. We all guys are very much, we all are working with WhatsApp. And I remember that I think three years ago, 2 to 3 years ago, WhatsApp has released an update. That time I was like new to WhatsApp. It's not so much. In that time they have introduced now the communication which is going to be done between sender and receiver is going to be encrypted. So the text which you are doing to your WhatsApp to your friend, that is encrypted. So if anyone who will be coming in the middle, they are not gonna get to know the information what is going to be there. So even we have discussed on a very first day or second day that if the information is being transmitted between sender and receiver, so if middleware any attacker is coming into the picture, he will see the data as an encrypted. And to read the encrypted data, you must have to need the algorithm through that it has encrypted. So that is one point. Second point is that I was talking about the WhatsApp. WhatsApp has recently introduced the video calling. Earlier it was not available. And there was a lot of argument also happened in India for the video calling in WhatsApp, because somehow it has damaged that voice calling in the market. So there was a good argument which happened in India regarding this video calling feature by many of the mobile applications. So that's okay. That is not our part, but I was talking about that when the WhatsApp has been introduced the video call, even today, if you will try to make a call to any of your friend, on the very first top, it will be written it like end-to-end encrypted. So yes, it's a video calling, but still it is not encrypted. So I mean to say, as an application designer, if I'm somehow, first of all, I should not get any such a data without the user consent. Means without user approval, we should not receive the data which is going to be impactful for the user. But still, if you are using that data, make sure the data which is reaching to you is encrypted, because the data of the user can be harmful or can be create an issue if user has reported something. So we have to understand as an application developer, if we are receiving any data from end user, that must be encrypted. So if anyone wish to attack and if anyone wish to steal the data, they are not able to get it. The privacy laws can be differ according to region. So I know about the India region, you might aware about in your Africa region. So there could be different region have a different rules and regulation on violation of the privacy. So this is the statement of the privacy. Privacy says that fetching the data of the users without or with the user consent. So if you are going to abide the user consent, that can be create a legal issue, invasion of privacy. After collecting the data, we should take care that it should be secure, encrypted. So even that is a duty of the developer, that how the information is going to be accessed and going to put it into this backside and kept it as encrypted. The data loss can be differ from one region to another region, so that is definitely fine. Not in the terms of only photos and videos. Sometimes, like as a payment gateway, we are today doing a lot of online transactions. In online transactions, you are going to be dependent upon the merchants. So if I'm going for the payment, Amazon.app, Amazon application, and Amazon application, we are making some, we are purchasing some products. So we are doing the payment. So while doing the payment, you will never see that payment is going to be done by the Amazon. There will be some third party, or there will be some third person or third application will get start between you and Amazon application, and that will accept the data on behalf of Amazon. So they are the merchant. They are the merchant whose job is to accept the payment. So that is the one of the thing, that if they are getting our credit card information, that it's them guaranteed to keep it secure. Data storage period. Some data is stored for a particular period of time. The data which is used for tracing and identify information such as people, devices, locations. So in that cases, it is going to be stored for a particular period of the time. In most cases, proper access rights should be defined to access personal information as a banking data. So it's very simple that how much time you should keep the data to be inside your system. So it depends upon the type of data. Example like location information, people information, devices information might be for a small period of that time, but it can be long if it is defined as per the requirement of your application. Whenever you are accessing some personal information and the banking data, you should have a proper access right, and you should have that proper retention period, that how much time you're going to keep it. So this is the stuffs which we have to understand, like data storage period and privacy. Storage mechanism, like it's okay, the things is clear that we have a privacy, we have a data storage period. Third thing which comes, storage mechanism. It is always advisable to use storage mechanism provided by Android instead of inventing new ones. New ones, what do you mean? Like, see, we guys are the programmers, so we know the codes, we have a logics. By using the logics, you can do anything, and that's very possible in Java, because Java is open source and there is no such restriction from the Android or Google authority to do the particular stuff. So instead of doing the inventions, instead of finding your own way, please prefer to use what the Android says. So like when we are working with internal database, so we should use SQLite. If we are working with rewrite operation, we should use shared preferences XML, and so on. So it's better to advisable to use the storage mechanism which Android is saying instead of just a second. Shared preferences. Okay, we already had a discussion about the shared preferences. Anyone can give me information about the shared preferences? What is it? Anyone? Bolaji? If anyone wish to share the information, why we use shared preferences, in which scenario we should go for the shared preferences, because we have already dealt with the shared preferences. Question for you guys. Bolaji?
Okay, I think shared preferences allows you to store data and key value in
I know,
file.
okay, I know, you know the things. I know, you know.
Okay, sorry, I'll just be quiet, please. Sorry.
Okay, I know, you know. So I agree. You know the thing. So shared preferences. No problem. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good morning. Okay,
So shared press. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, Dirshu. You were saying something?
Prashant, I've not been able to hear you for a very long time. Oh. I've been going out and coming in since.
Yeah, you are coming and joining. I don't know why
But
is
it's
the
fine.
problem.
It's fine now. It's fine now. I think it was my network.
Yeah, it could be because if there's a network fluctuation, might be disconnected.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
nice. I know the things that shared preferences we know. As Oka was saying that shared preferences which allows you to store the value into key and pair. In which circumstances we can use shared preferences? As an example, like you are creating a registration form and you don't want to make your end user to refill again and again if some issue happen, so you can store that information. Second one thing, like if you wish to capture a situation like where you wish to show login page for a while, means for the first time, the next time he has successfully logged in, no need to show the pages, so you can store some value in the shared preferences. The shared preferences data can be overwrite. It does not provide in operations in terms of I mean to say CRUD operations. It's not going to be CRUD operations. You can store and you can clear it. That's it. Rather you can't do anything over there in the systems. So that is a shared preferences, which is going to store the information to form of XML. That is, you know, guys, that to work with that we have to use shared preferences manager, and using that you can perform the operation. The type of information which you can store inside it, that is going to be integer, long, boolean, float, string, so which you can store it. Next thing is the file. So you can store the information in some file. File can be like, suppose that I wish to create a some log.txt file, and in that one we wish to store. So shared preferences store the information as a form of key pair inside an XML. File is just a file, like textual file, where you can write your content, whatever you wish to add it. So you use the Android file system to store and retrieve, but it is going to be used java.io. Java.io package, you are going to work in that one thing. By default, files created by an applications are private and it cannot be accessed by other application. So we have to understand we can read the file of only our own applications, which is not going to be accessible by other. So that thing we have already seen on a very first day, that every application runs inside its own isolated environment. So isolated, or you can say in the sandbox, so they are not going to talk it with others. As in shared preferences, file persists, device reboots, and application crashes. They are only removed when the application gets installed. So story remains same, that it is as in shared preferences, file persists on the device, reboots, and application crashes. They are removed only when the application installed. So as a story is that we do have in shared preferences, if my application device gets reboots or my application get crashed, in such situation files persist on the device. but they can be removed when the application is uninstalled. So a file is also going to be uninstalled, that is going to be removed. Till now, this is the part of example of internal storage we are talking. File storage, which you can do with external storage also, but in that case, you have to make sure that you should have external storage. If you don't have external storage, you cannot do. So you can create a new file on the external storage by using this code var file external source. So you can write it that file actually then class over here, and that using you can design it. Any data which is stored on the external storage should be considered insecure and globally redundant on storage still lacks of the security of an internal storage. So I told you on a very first line of this one thing, anything which you are putting on the external storage is not recommended as a secure content. But still, if you wish to use it, so there are classes already made it out. Through that, you can write the operation on the external storage. But to work with external storage, you make sure that on which device you are running, they have the concept of external storage, means they should have the capability of external storage. Otherwise, you will write the command, and that command will throw you an error for you. Then the last is going to be cache. In the cache, which you are going to do it here. Cache is used for the frequent access data. So as you are doing with the file, you can also take the advantage of the cache, and inside the cache, you can store the information. So cache is going to be used. You can use the cache storage mechanism if your application needs to cache data. Android stores the cache in the file system and the sandboxes, them along with the application. And where it will be created? It will be created inside the data, then the name of the package, and inside that one you do have a cache. And there the file should get created. So the cache, which is going to be your application when you wish to run the cache the data, then you can use the cache mechanism. So we have three options. We can store the information in shared preference. We can store the information into the file. We can store the information into cache. And last but not the least, we can store the data into the database. In your application, you can store structured data. Then in your database is the base storage mechanism. I wish to perform CRUD operation. Then I'll be using database to perform such operation. To do this operation, we have to use a SQLite database. So we already have the example of that one, how we can use it. But still here we have to see that how we can work with the database part and where it is going to be there. So there was a question, I forgot the name. That question was that how you can view the data. So we can see that there is an Android, we have Android device manager. And from there you can get to know the files and folders which is related to your application. But that is applicable for only emulator. It's not going to be acceptable for your device, real device. Real device is until not rooted. Rooted means you have removed the permissions to see the internal data. So if it is a rooted device, then you can also see that one thing. So private database will be this private database will be accessible to all the components of the application, but not the outside of the application. Database information can be accessed internally, but if you have to make it outside accessible, that you can using content provider. Using content provider, you can do this operation. So these are the storage types which we have seen. So in the system of the Android, we have to understand that when we are going to make the storage of data, there are some decisions we have to make it. The decisions which may factor on the privacy and the data storage period. Privacy, which says that for who is going to access your data, where the data has been stored, data without the user consent you are receiving data, or with the user consent you are receiving the data, data must be encrypted format. Data storage period, which tells you that which type of data and how long time you wish to keep it. So that is the data storage period. Where you can store the data, shared preferences is one of the example. Then we have a file to store the data. Third one is again file. Cache, which is going to allow to store the data. Database is going to store the data. So database, cache, file, and shared preferences all are going to store your data in internal system or internal storage. If you are going to write explicitly to store the data on external storage, you need to write it some extra opportunity, extra features, extra things. Through that you can read the external storage. To working with external storage, you must aware that it is not a secure, it's not termed as a secure one. Then we are moved to the labs part where we will be discussing about these 4 types of operation and we'll see whether we are able to retrieve or save value or not. Any questions related to? Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay, please. So then I want to understand what's then the difference between the shared preference and then the bundle?
Shared preferences and bundle. Bundle is not a storage. Bundle is a way to passing data. So, but shared preference is a storage mechanism where you can store the data based on key and pair value. Bundle is just used to pass the information. So if I rerun my application, data bundle will be automatically null, but shared preferences will not get null. So if we are sharing information or if we are passing information from one component to another component, then we can take the use of bundle. And what is a bundle? Bundle means you are going to keep the more values inside it, like using put string, put stuff. So it's not going to be stored, but it is just at the runtime you can pass the information from one component to another. Is it clear?
Yeah, it is.
So we are any more question, guys? You can let me know because this is the last one and we are going to start with exercise and there are a lot of things we have to do it. The first exercise I'm expecting to done by from you. So I'll be giving some time of 15 minutes to complete this procedure. First one exercise, I'll give you that what you need to do. Second one I'm gonna do it. Third one I'm gonna do it. And fourth one we know already, but if the time allows, we can do it also. So we have a first exercise that is going to be an exercise for you. And I'll be giving you some time to create it. Rest 3 I will be talking and you will be completing with me, sir. First, I also do it, but I'll be give you opportunity to first of all you guys have to share preferences. So in this one, we have the last one. This is the last part of the security where we are going to make the data storage on the various part of the data. Any question you can ask me.
Sorry, Pushan. I was actually called out of this meeting. I didn't get the last point. What did you say?
Which one?
So okay, I didn't get this last what you were saying in this.
I was saying that there are exercises which we need to do it.
Okay.
So first exercise, which you guys will do because this is shared preferences. I'll be giving you some time to complete. If done very well, otherwise I'll be doing that one thing. Second, all the other 3 things which I know that file storage you have not done it, file cache you have not done it. So I'll be doing and you will be doing with me. And the fourth one is SQLite. So SQLite we have done 2 times, but if we will be having time, we will be discuss about that. Otherwise, we are okay. So this is we have discussed.
Okay. So what's the activity for this first one? Is it we should go to the document and see it?
No. I'll show you.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just writing. I'm writing that what you need to create it. Don't worry. I'm giving you the activity. So I'm just writing data storage mechanism depends upon below factors. The first which is going to be here data privacy. Second one thing data storage period. We have to understand here is a note. External storage is never recommended as a secured storage data. Okay, so the activity which you need to do it here. So let me write it on the pen. Same activity I'll be using for others too. Same designing. So very simple exercise which I'm gonna do it here, so that you need to create it. So you guys have to create it, an activity. And in that activity, you are going to keep a small label, sorry, text view, where you're gonna keep it like shared preferences demo. Then you are going to have a button. Sorry, text fields, small buttons. So this is which we have to create it application where we have a one plain text which you can refer it as an edit text. When you click the save data, data is going to be saved. Using toast you can confirm. Retrieve data will show the retrieving the data here itself. Try to rerun the application and try to retrieve whether the data is being showed or not. So this is the shared preferences example which you need to guide to do. And same way we will be trying to use for others too. So this is one which we are gonna do it here. So data storage we can do with the shared preferences. We can do with the file. We can store cache. Then we can use database. So demo one, you have to do this, guys. This one we have to implement it. Please write an application named shared preferences demo as per below diagram. So here we will be doing what? Take a plain text. On button, save, store, value and confirmation in toast. On button, retrieve data and display in text view. So this is the you have to guys implement it. You have 20 minutes to do this one thing. Then I'll be talking about that. 20 to 30 you can take it. 20 minutes is enough. Let's try this one thing. What do you? So this is you have to do. Any confusion, you can let me know what you any respective to it. So I'm sitting here. You can just let me know if any questions you are related to it. And I'm keeping on myself on mute. So anytime if you'll ask, you can let me know. So we need to create a shared preferences object. Shared preferences equal to shared preference get shared preferences manager. Write the name of file. Mode will be 0 for the private. You require an editor object, and using that you will be doing this operation. Anyone has implemented? Wish to share?
Prashant, I'll soon be done. I'll soon be done.
Okay. Anyone has implemented? Nana? Done? Bulaji? Michael? John Michael?
Not done yet.
Okay. Prince Soleh?
Prashant, I'm done.
Great. Please share your screen.
All right. So this is can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
So if I do Prashant, and I save data, I get data saved. And when I retrieve it, it displays on a text view.
Okay, run the application again and try to retrieve the data what it sent.
Okay. So
No, just retrieve. Okay, it's already there. Fine.
yeah.
No need to show the code. Let the other people to do. But that's nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks. Thank you, John. Good. We have got the first update from John Michael that he has completed well. Rest of other guys, please. I'm just coming back in 1 minute. I am back. Anyone has done? Wish to share his screen?
Prashant, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen, but I can't hear your voice. But now I can hear.
Okay, can you see? Let me
Yeah.
just run the application again.
That's fine.
Oh, sorry, you said we should display something in the toast. I just remembered. I didn't do that. Okay, I can just add that. So, but
No.
basically, this is it. Hello, let me just do Hello world. Okay, I did it. I remember. So data saved.
Perfect.
So when I retrieve the data, it works.
Okay. Nice. Nice implement. So do you guys need more time or should I start doing? Kindly confirm those guys who has not implemented.
Prashant, please, a few minutes, a few more minutes.
Okay, Okan. Bulaji, what is the update? Nana. Piole. Prince Ole. Bolu Fulan. Bolu of Fulan. Guys, please confirm, because I know for the rest of the guys they have already implemented or they will do. 2 minutes more, otherwise I'll be moving to that doing the same thing. So you can look it over here. If anyone has done, let me know.
Prashant, I'm done.
Nice. If please share.
Please, can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay. So this another tester. Save data. Yeah, view data.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it.
That's it. Okay, good. So it's a very simple implementation. Let me do it. If you have done, very good. If I'm not done, still no problem. I'll be showing this one thing because that's fine. So let me show you how we can do this one thing. Just a second. Let me open Android Studio, starting working with the first day project. We will be doing the same application for the next style. Like in that one, things will remain same. The name of application will change. In the shared preferences, we have to store the data based on key pair. So I'm creating a new application, empty activity. Name of application is writing shared ref demo security. Guys, also one thing, like because today we will be doing with Android also. Android last, so I'll be uploading all the projects which is available with me on the same drive for the Android, also for iOS, which also have not deleted, but the project I'll be deleting from my system, so I'll be keeping those things on system on the Google Drive, so you can also download from there. But it is going to be let the process to build. Going for the designing, so designing is very simple, straightforward. Sometime when you're trying to open the system and trying to open the design, it will not work. So just restart your Android Studio. Things is gonna work it for you. So it's not to worry about that. Below to that, I'll be having a plain text. Please enter data, and I'll be having the constraint. Below to that, having two buttons. And below to that, I'll be keeping one text view where I'll display my data.
Richard, I don't think we can see your screen now.
Oh, sorry. Somehow. Oh, sorry. I hope it's visible now.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So just I have done the drag and drop. That's it we are doing. So I'm gonna do it here. So here I'll be doing the job. Result has been added. Let me add on the top is going to be 24. So that's fine. Let me add trees over there. So for that one, I'll be writing here input ed. For the result, I'll be keeping here is going to be result TV. For these two buttons, I need to define some on click. So I'll be selecting the button on click, save data. One more time to retry path. So I'll be writing here okay, so we are going to do the linking of that one. So we'll doing the linking here is going to be one for edit text, input ed. Next for the text view, that is going for result TV, and there will be one object of shared preferences. Shared preferences. That I can record preferences. Starting the job, doing the initialization of the things. First of all, linking all the stuff. Find view by ID, r.id.input ed. Result TV is equals to find view by ID, r.id.result TV. And then we are going to write the preferences. So preferences is equal to get shared preferences, where we have to write the name of file. So file, we can write it like my prefs, and mode is going to be 0. That is going to be private. You also require an editor object to edit the things. So we'll going for editor objects and doing the operation. Since save data, I'll be doing here string data is equals to input ed.getText to string. Editor, which is required here, object preferences dot edit editor dot put string data key with the value of data. Finally, we need to commit, or you can also go for apply. Commit, it's a boolean, so you can define it here. If editor commit toast data saved toast data save in error. This is the part which we are going to do it here, and which we are going to use it here. Coming to the retrieving parts, in the retrieval part, I'll be doing here very simple. We require here retrieval, so we'll go for string retrieved value, which is going to be shared preferences. Sorry, preferences dot get string with the key data key, and the value which can be default, or you can say no data found. And we can write it here, set the value inside it, result tb dot set text retrieved value is going to be retrieved value. That's it for my application. Let me run it once, so we will be sure that this is working fine. And after that, I'll be putting this code on the doc. I'm just testing it whether it is working or not. This will work, definitely it will work. So let me put it over here. So we are going to write the operation here. The operation with main activity. Okay, so application has been run. I think some error. I don't know what is the error. Okay, this is some different error that is not related to system. So I'm going to store some data. So my name is Prashant Ranjan. Data has been saved, and if I try to retrieve, my name is Prashant Ranjan. To verify the things, I'll be doing here what? I'll just running the application once again without doing here. So I'll be back to my application and share preferences. This is my application. Retrieve data. My name is Prashant Ranjan. So data is being retrieved. So this is all in all the way to work it here. So there is nothing new here. So main stuff is related to your shared preferences object. Once you create the set preferences object, you are all set to work it over there. You will be ready to write the applications and perform operation on that. So that is the part over there. Next storage, I'll be doing here that store the data into the form of file, and we'll see that how we can work with the file storage, whether it works or not, and what we need to do it to do the data storage into the file. There are some approach which we have to do it. So yep, we will be going to do here the next operation. Same application which we have implemented on the Tom, same application with the demo 2. Demo second. Create an app to store information into internal storage as form of file. There are multiple steps will be coming. So UI we are going to keep it on the same way. So on the top, whichever we have taken, same way we are going to keep. So here we will be writing note, keep the user interface same as above. Okay, so the guys who has not implemented the shared preferences, they implement the shared preferences. We can have a small break of 15 minutes. We'll back and we'll talking about the demo second. So the people who has not done, they can implement the shared preferences. Who has done, they can go for break, and we'll see about the working with internal storage after the break. So here is a 15 minutes of break, and we'll resume the session after that one. So who has not implemented, they have to do this one thing. Those guys who has already implemented, they can go for the break. Rest is your choice, boys. I'm gonna on break now. Okay, I am back. So we are going to do this operation. We will be having the user interface as same as above. We will be having one text fields, one edit text, two buttons. So we'll create a project. Named internal storage demo. In that one, we'll drag below UI components and arrange as the previous app UI. The first component which you are going to have it plain text. That ID you will be keeping it here as the input ED. Then you do have one text view. That ID you can keep it as a result TV. Then we have button 1, save data method, and button 2, retrieve data. So there are 4 operations which we have to do it. Once we complete operation, okay, fine. So here you have to do what on save data operation. We need to create a file with title. We have to create a file with the title. So create a string, take a string variable with any file title value. Once you complete this operation, we need to get content from edit text to get stored inside file. After that one, we have to write it. So to write it, we have to use using file output stream will create a file inside, will create or open. Both option works for create or open. If it is existing, it will open that one. Open file. Update the file content and flush and close. So to do this operation, we have to make sure, so there is a note I'll define, require try catch exception handling. For above process. Let's see how we can do this operation. So let me revise what are the things we need to do it here. So we'll create a project by the name of internal storage demo. There we will be dragging on below UI components as and will arrange as a previous app UI. Once you complete the operation, we'll writing that how we can save the data. To save the data, we have to create a file with the title. So you can define any file title over there, whichever you wish to create it. Get the content from edit text and get stored inside the file. Using file in output stream, we'll create or open the file. We will be updating the file content and retrieving the same. So let's see how we can do this one operation and what the procedure we have to do it. So without wasting the time, we will be creating that application and let's see is there any it's going to work or not. So I'm gonna close this project and we'll open. Name of the project we will be keeping here is internal storage file demo. Okay, I'll be back to my UI and we'll be doing the designing. For working with internal storage, you don't have to write any explicitly any permissions. Having a plain text. Enter file content. Then we have two buttons below to that. So this is going to my final output, internal storage file demo. And I'll be working with this one thing. So for that, I'll be defining some input id, result TV, save data and retrieve data. So I'll be working with the entries. So input ed, result TV, and this is for the button. So button 1. Same way for a try. That's fine. Then we do have our text view. Linking we will be doing. Once you complete this process, we will be doing the operations, working with save data. Till here, if it is confirmed, update me on the chat. Whoever can do on the chat. So kindly update me on the chat that whether it is working or not. So those guys who can do on the chat, please revert me on the chat. So it's very simple implementation. So got it from John, Drishu, Inde, Abajo. Received that 3 updates now. So just now we have created a project. In that project we have taken some UI components, and that UI components we have linked with our project. Now we will be looking about here that how to save the data. That is the next process. So saving the data, we require the file title, and accordingly we are going to work it on that. So let's go for that, how we can do it here. So going to save the data. So let's do some values. Get the file title plus file content. So file title, we are going to create it here in string internal file title. That will be having here something like as my internal file .txt, leave it. Then string internal file content, that we can have it input ed.getText dot toString. After that, we will going to write the try and catch. So start updating file. In this one, we are going to write try catch. It's going to be exception toast file write exception e.get localized message. And the try part, I'll be doing the job. In this one, we are going to create or open file for that title, for the file title, using file output stream. So let's have file output stream, FOS, or file output stream, get application context dot open file output, where we have to write it internal file title, and the mode you can define 0. For the private, you can define it here mode, that is going to be private. Private is stands for 0. After that, update the file. So you'll be using file update the file output stream dot write. What you have to write it, internal file content which you are going to receive it dot get bytes. Then we are going to flush file stream dot close. For the confirmation, make a toast file updated successfully. That's it. So save data method is going to be have this option. File update. Okay, same way we can do the retrieval part. So before going further, let's do with the retrieval part also. So once we will complete all the steps we will be doing. So as we have done file output stream, we have to do with input stream. To read the file, we have to write it input stream, and using that we can do this operation. So to read, we need an object. Okay, do this one thing first of all, then we'll be working about the need part, retrieval part. So as we have done with the file output stream, this time we are going to work with the file input stream, and using that we are going to read the information. So we have to do what? Need an object of input stream to read the file. So read the file for the title. So whatever the title you have defined, the same title you require. Using buffered reader class, read the information from file and convert it to string. Okay, so again to do this operation we require here again the try and catch. Try and catch exception handling is required for above procedure? So let's do this one thing. So now we'll be back to the code. Retrieval part, going to do this operation. So we require the title which we have created. So first of all, retrieving data from internal file. So for that, the file title is this.
Prashant, sorry, 1 second. Can I just see your activity main? Activity main. Okay. That's fine.
Okay.
Thanks. It's fine.
Okay, so we are going to read this one thing. We have a string internal file which we have there, and using try and catch we can do it. So we can create here value which we can use it here. So let's do this one thing. Try catch exception toast file read exception. Input string get application context, open file input, give the file name is here. So file name is internal file title. Read the information from here. So we can have receive string value. We can hit string received information. That's going to be new buffer reader class. New input stream reader. Pass the input stream inside it. Dot read line. Once it is going to be there, we can write it here, the toast value retrieve. Why to put the toast? We can directly print it inside the result. tv.setText received information. So that's it. This is your retrieval part. Now try the both of the things and confirm whether it is working or not. Try to both of the things, update it and confirm whether it is working or not. So this is the implementation of your file. You can also define .txt if you wish to define the title of your file, but that is up to you. received some updates. Working fine, working fine. That's cool. Rest of guys can also try. So I have received 4 updates, working fine. So yep, it's working for most of the guys. So let me run the application too. So let's see whether it is working for me or not. I'll be running this application. Trying to save the data. That data is going to be, this is Prashant. Save it. File updated successfully. Retrieve the data. This is Prashant. Let me go back here and check it whether it is going to be stored internally or not. So let's have a different applications are here. In that one, I'll have to choose. Wow. Where's my application? Internal storage. This is Prashant. So this is working fine for me. And this is the way you can store the information as a format of file. In which purpose you will be using this one thing? It will be used for the purpose of maintaining the logs. Such information you can store inside it. Maintaining the logs, so instead of making the database to do the storage, you can append the file to store the information. Rest is your choice, but here the information will be stored inside the file over there. The next thing which we are going to use, cache. Cache storage is temporary storage. What type of information we wish to store it? So as for an example, like we all do WhatsApp and we send the voicemails to our friends. So as you are doing the recording, and that recording, before getting it to send, it is going to be occupied somewhere. So you will be keeping that particular file which you are creating inside the cache. So benefit is that it will be available until that file is not going to be sent. As it is being sent, the cache is going to be clear. So you can use on this position where you can use it the cache to store the information of recordings. As cache is a temporary one, so it will be stored also, but until you will not going to clear it. So that is the cache, means how you can take the advantage of application cache to get it, store the data inside it. So that we will be doing the next one. Any questions from this part? You guys can let me know. So next operations, we will be doing the same type of UI designing, and we'll be writing the operation, but that this time I'll be storing the data inside the cache. Drishu is having a lot of issue, I think. He's joining, living, he joining, living. And also with Ukana having the same problem. Okay guys, so we will be moving to the last one exercise of this one, where we will be talking about that how you can store the information inside the cache part. Any questions from this part? You guys can let me know. To do this operation, I'll be doing the same UI which we have designed, and we'll try to do this one thing. So working with the internal storage, we have used input stream or output stream. Working with the cache, you are going to again use file reader. Using that, you will be reading the file, but the data which is going to be stored, that is going to be stored inside the cache. So you require the cache directory path, and inside that cache directory, you will be creating your own file, and that file you are gonna save it. So we'll see that how we can do that job. So we go for the doc. So to do this operation, we will be building the same UI. The name of application, we are gonna keep it as cache storage app, and we will be designing the UI in the same style. But here we will be having the path of the cache and how you get the cache path. In the real life application, we will be using for sound recordings and other things. So when you are going to send, like as we do in our WhatsApp, we record our the sound and we verify that whether the sound is recorded well or not. It means it is going to be stored sometime is temporary. As you do the sending, the data is going to be transferred to be get it stored. But before getting it stored, you have to keep it into the buffer. So where is that place you are going to keep it as a buffer, and how you are going to interact with that. So that discussion we will be looking at right now. So just a second. So this is the final demo 3. Write an app to store information inside cache. So to do this application, we will be doing the same operation. Procedure. So we'll create an app named cache storage demo. Once we'll complete this operation, we'll draw an UI. We'll draw an UI as per previous application. Then using file reader, using file writer, sorry, before the file writer, we will be retrieve the path information of cache dir and update the path with our file name. After that, one thing, using file writer class, update the value of file. Same way, using file reader, class, retrieve the value from file. So this is we required here. We'll see that how we can do this operation and what are the updates which we need to do it here in that day. So guys, we will be doing the same applications designing. So UI we will be keeping the same, and we'll see how it is gonna work it for us. So we'll create in the same UI and we'll see the operation of saving and retrieving. So let's create a project. Once the project done, linking is done, let me know. Then I'll be talking about that, how to do this one thing. So create a project with the same UI and we'll see about that one thing. Till that, I just create my project. The name is going to be Cache Storage Demo. Cache storage can be used to store any buffer data like recordings, before it gets in further. Okay, so Jay, kindly do this one thing and we'll see about that, how we can do this operation and what the steps we have to do it here. Once completed, update me on the chat that you guys have implemented the stuff. Once complete, update me on the chat. This is a basic procedure which we are doing here right now. We're just creating a project, doing all the linking. Once complete, let me know. I'll be updating the code with doing the cache part. Cache is just for the temporary stuff, so it will be stored for the temporary time, and that's it. So we have to get the cache path, and that path we have to update with the name of the file which you wish to create it, and inside that one you are going to write whatever the information you wish to read it. Yes, previous UI we are gonna use it. So let's do this one thing again. So I'm gonna create it now. I have project is created and the UI I'm gonna keep it the same one. This is the last application, so I believe everyone will do it perfectly. It's fine. And below to that, I'll be keeping my text view. It's going to be which is going for result. So let's see whether how we can write this one thing. So all the stuffs will remain same. So I'm going to create here as a input ed, and text result is going to be result TV. For the same, I'll be doing with the button over there, save data. So I'll be doing here on click, save data. that is going to be linked with it, and we're going to return to the retrieving part. So we'll be going here on click retrieve data. So we'll be doing this one retrieving part, and let's do the linking of all the things. So we have one edit text. So we'll be having input id, and we have a text view which is going to be result TV, and then we are going to link it. So we are going to link it input id is equals to find view by id r dot id dot input id. Result TV is going to be find view by id r dot id dot result TV, and then we will be looking for that how you can save the data. So for saving the data, the thing which is required here is actually your path. So based on that particular operation, you will be doing the operation. So you need to retrieve the path, and inside that path you have to write the operation. So how you can do this one thing, we are going to get the path or get the file name, I can say. So let's see how we can get it here. So here we can do it here. We can create a file. Create a file with cache path information. So for that, you first of all require a file name. So you are going to write it string file name, which we can define it like cache file .txt, anything. And that file we will be having this one thing. So we'll write it here file cache file. So we'll create a file with the cache path information. So for that we will be doing on update part, and then we having a file. So let's do with on create and linking with cache path. So we can do it here. Cache file is equals to new file get cache dir dot get path. Sorry, get cache dir get path. After that, because you are going to update, so you will be writing like this way: backslash and update with the file which you have taken here, file name. So this is going to be get cache dir get path. So it will automatically locate the location data inside the data, the name of package and the cache directory. And using that, you will be ready to write the operation. So first of all, we will be seeing the save part, how we can do it. To do the saving, I need to do what? I need to do the try catch. That is the first thing. With the try catch, also get the data. So string data to save, which is going to be input ed.getText to string. Going down, writing the catch, exception, toast, file cache access issue, e.get localized message. And using file writer class, we will be updating the file. So we're writing here file writer for which path? That the cache file path. After that one, writer dot write, which you are going to update data to save, and then you must close this one thing, file writer dot close. Make a toast for the confirmation cache file updated. this is more similar to that as we have done with the file writer. Same way we are going to do the file reader. So what we have done the linking. After that, I have created a file by the name of cachefile.txt. I have created a file by the name of cache file, which will be linking with this particular thing. So get cache.dir.get path. There I'm going to write this particular file name. To save this one thing, I'll be using file writer class, and using that file writer, I'll be doing this update. So let's see how we can do it. So this code I'll be putting in the last. I'm gonna do it with the retrieve part. So retrieve part will remain same as we have there. So using the try cache. This time we will be using file reader, toast, cache access issue plus e.get localized message. In the try part, I'll be using file reader, new file reader for the path cache file. Instead of writing the cache file, I'll be preferring to write the name of the cache file. Let it be, no issue. Let cache. Read this one thing. So using buffer reader, I'll be reading buffer reader. Why should write buffer reader? We can directly write it here. We can write it here. String received data is equals to new buffer reader file reader dot read line toast dot file cache accessed, and here we can update result tv dot set text result receive data. That's it, and will hopefully this will be working for me. So I'm just going to keep all the codes because there are some path structures which we have used it. Okay, so I'm gonna put it here. You can modify the code according to your need. So you can try, see whether it is working or not. Confirm on the chat it's working or not. So received 3 updates. It's working. Nice. So this is working for most of the guys. That's nice. Let's me run from my side. So I'm gonna run the application. Okay, as a storage demo, I'm going to write the content. This is Prashant Ranjan. Testing for storing data in internal cache. So save data, cache file updated. Retrieve data is also working fine for me. Let me move the application. Going back to the application again. I'm trying to run the application. Let's see what happens. So data is coming. Let me check whether we get the device file explorer, the same data is available or not. The name of the application is com.prashantranjan cache storage. So we have a location data. There will be one more folder by the name of data, and here we have the list of all the packages. I have to look for the package which I have installed. com.prashantranjan com.pp prashantranjan lot of cache storage. Let's see, here is a cache folder has been there, and inside that one there is a text file which has been created. I try to open whether it is going to be open from here or not. No problem. So let me save as that outside. Hopefully this thing will work. Not sure, but let me check it out because these files are actually protected file. So I'm gonna save on the desktop, and that's fine. And you can see the files are there. We have worked with another applications which is related to your internal storage. We have cache, we have files. So you can remember that we have created a file. So there is a files folder has been created. Shared preferences will be having shared preferences. So I think this is the folder. We will be having shared prefs folder inside it. So this is, you can see internally inside the sandbox things are getting created. Now we have save as on my desktop. I'm not sure whether we are able to open or not. This is a cache file.txt. Let me try to open with the text edit. Hopefully it's going to be sure, and the data is there which we have stored. So you can view the path of any particular files and folders by moving to the data and data. But make sure when you are moving, this is going to work with emulator, not for all. So this is working for me. And this is the last part of your Android security. Database is that we have already done. So I can give you an exercise right now to do with the database. Same way, same application, same UI, you can do it. But before the exercise, you can give, if you have any question, you can let me know. So because we have still 30 minutes left, so we can do the exercise of database. Only you can do it. I'll not do it because I have done twice this one thing, even on the content provider I have done. So now this is your choice. But before that, if you have any question, you can let me know. Today we have discussed about working with the file storage, working with the cache, working with internal, working with the shared preferences, and one is the database part. Okay, guys. So you can any questions you can let me know, or if you have no any question, you can start working with this one thing. So this is the exercise which we have done it on the previous part. Same UI you have to keep it, and you have to store the data in the SQLite. Maximum duration of this one is going to be 30 minutes, which is going to be the end of the training. And in the mid, if you have any question, you can let me know. So over to you.
Prashant,
Yes.
sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I was not able to hear very well. So,
The thing is
okay, so
that
okay,
so we have to create the same applications like whichever UI we are using right now, but the
yeah,
data in the it will be saved inside the SQLite. That is the last demo
okay.
of that one. So that is just an
Oh,
implementation.
oh, okay.
And you have to keep only one field. Don't keep it 3-4 fields. Only one field.
Uh,
That's it.
all right, all right.
So I'm here sitting idle. You can let me know if any questions related to that. And I'm not gonna do this one thing. So you can look for the content provider demo for any hint, or we have also done with the SQL at 5. So let's see who is going to do first. So I wish to hear the answers from uh, Nana, Bolaji, Nemo Jackson, Mr. Gote David, Prince Ole. So these are the names which I have taken. I wish to hear the answers from them first. Rest of the guys has shown some demos in my previous in other classes also. So I believe I trust them they can do it. So I just wish to hear the answers from these guys first. Let's see who are gonna do it first. Anyone has done? Nemo Jackson has left the meeting. Don't know. So Drishu has done. I think it's Nana who has done. Nice. Good to see, guys. So receive that John has done, Oinan has done, Kane has done. Good. Aura has done. Good. So all has implemented by themselves. Nice to see this one thing. We have still some minutes left. So guys, if you have any question, you can also let me know. I'll be happy to help you. And tomorrow we will be talking about the Kotlin programming. There also Android will come, but we are not going to more depth in the Android part. We'll seeking about that how we do the coding in the Kotlin. The best part is that you have already done the Swift application, so it's moreover similar to Swift, and you can do the operation using Swift over there. Same, most over the things are same. What more are that from the Neko? Neko has also done this one thing, so yes, good. Okay guys, so that's good. Like you most have implemented the things. Some our guys are not having accessibility to write on the chat, so that I can understand. They can also confirm the same thing through that voice if they have done this one thing. So as I expected that you will be implementing the things. I wish that Nana can share his screen and let us know that how he has implemented. So over to you, Nana. Can you share your screen and let us know that how you have implemented the things?
Okay, Prashant. I'm sharing it now.
Thank you.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I created a DB adapter class. So
Your screen sharing has stopped.
oh, let me try and share again.
Yeah, please. Yeah, we can
You
see.
can see it. We can
We
see
can see.
now.
We can see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I created a DB adapter class, and then I'm extending this SQLite OpenHelper class. So I implemented the create method on it and the constructor. So here I created a table called record, and I'm storing ID and name text into it. So I execute this this string and then catch exceptions. So in the main activity where I am linking to the to the to the input fields in my XML file. So these are the input fields for the string I'm passing in, and this is the result field. So I what's the word for it now? My DB adapter. I instantiated it here, or I called it here, and then the SQL database. So I linked them in my onCreate method here, my input and my results and my adapter. So the save to DB method that is linked to my save data button. I'm basically saving the records to my SQLite. So I'm getting the value of my text and I'm putting it into this into my content values and then inserting it here to my record. So if it's inserted successfully, I will get this record saved to this message. And then on my view data, I'm just basically retrieving that record from the table and then storing it in my results input field by setting the text of the field to the record I retrieved.
Okay.
So I can run. I'm running
But
my
if you're
emulator.
having, in that case, if you have more than one data, then the problem will be here is going to, you will be getting only the last data. So directly, instead of setting the value, set the value for result, you can use a string builder class, and there you can do the appending.
Okay.
Otherwise, things are fine. The logics which you have implemented, that is fine.
Okay.
Yes, that's nice implementation by Nana. So we have already discussed in our previous classes that working with the SQLite, and while working with the SQLite, you require a database helper class, or you can say SQLite open helper class, and that is going to help you to create the database part. So we have done the same procedure here right now also. So what we have done, we have created in a database adapter, and that adapter we have extended from SQLite Open Helper class. As we have done that procedure, we have got some methods. That method is going to help you to create tables, create the database, and using the SQLite database DB object, we can open the mode of database, and there we can write the value and update the value. So that is we have already done with our previous days of class where we have worked with the SQLite demo. Then we have worked with the content providers. There we have also implemented the same. And today is also the part. So this is all in all regarding working with a different storage option. With the new version of Android, external storage is no more available. I can say it's very rare companies or rare manufacturers they are providing external storage, but most of the companies has stopped. At least in India, they have stopped of giving the external storage. But you can go with external storage. You can go for get external storage DIR, and accordingly you can work it. So this is all about working with the security. Any questions related to that you can ask. Tomorrow we will be talking about the Kotlin programming. I'll be uploading today two things. One is the recording of the today's session. Doc is already in your hand. And also I'll try to upload the projects which we have done in iOS and the Android. Any questions for me?
Hello, Prashant.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't get what you told Nana to do. He said something about using a string builder class. I'm sorry, I missed that part.
Because means that actually when he has used directly, he was accessing the data and data was getting stored in string. So if they are having more than one values, so only the last value he can display inside the result part. He cannot show all the records. So to do this one thing, I told him to use a string builder class. String builder class through that they can build in a string and using that one create all the rows, and because there is no any list view. So if you have to display all the data which you have stored, so you will be using a string builder, and using that you can perform the operation.
Okay, thanks.
Because if I am going to use only string, then in that case I will be getting only the last data. So I'll not able to see all the data. So benefit is to go for string builder class, and using that you can perform operation. You can add a number of data inside it.
Also, Prashant, sorry, another one.
Yes. Yeah.
What of I don't know. Are we going to talk about testing?
Testing. We are not supposed
Yeah.
to talk about the testing. If you wish.
Okay.
This is in the code labs. You can find out regarding the testing. If you wish, we can work on the last day testing.
No, I just wanted to know.
No, it's okay. Code labs, it is there. But if you wish me to do this one thing, so I'll be doing on the last day. No problem. Okay, guys. Anything else you can ask me, or we can wind up the today's session. And one more thing, as we have last discussed regarding the some session of the doubt. So I checked with my team. We will be arranging some sort of like a doubt session or the revision session, you can say. So regarding that, from my team, they will be talking with Mr. Vokani, and you can go for one date because it will be only 4 hours or 8 hours. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. So I'll be checking with the. I have already informed, so I got the update. So they will be talking with Mr. Vokani, and according they will be finalizing. So before going for the particular things, because that will be very small session, or you can say it's maximum it's going to be 8 hours. Not even I'm not sure about that part. That depends upon the what are the discussion has been done. Uh, that will be very small. So, but before going for that session, make sure that you are going to go for the videos and the labs which we have done. Even some code labs was mentioned, so you can try with that, and then then the discussion will be beneficial. So regarding that, you will be getting update, and that going to be like approx within the 3 months or within 1 month, something like that. So whatever the discussion had communication between from your team and our team, so accordingly it is going to be arranged. Okay, guys, so we will meet tomorrow and we'll start discussing about the Kotlin. So we have done with the Android part. Even, yeah, definitely if you all have any question, you can let me know. That's not a big problem. But tomorrow we will be talking with the Kotlin and we'll be discussing about that thing. Till that, take care. Bye-bye.